Have you ever wondered what it means to live a life of purpose and dignity? The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro takes us on a quiet but powerful journey to explore just that. The story is told through the eyes of Mr. Stevens, an English butler. He is a man dedicated to his profession, valuing service and loyalty above all. The novel takes place in post-war England. It's a time when the grand estates and the rigid class systems are starting to fade. Stevens embarks on a road trip to visit Miss Kenton, a former housekeeper with whom he worked for many years. As he travels, he reflects on his life at Darlington Hall, where he served under Lord Darlington. Through his memories, we see a portrait of a man who prioritized duty above personal happiness. The central theme of the book is dignity. Stevens believes that a great butler must embody dignity by remaining emotionally restrained and committed to their work. But as the story unfolds, we begin to question whether this ideal has cost Stevens too much. This brings us to an important question. What does it mean to live a meaningful life? Stevens devoted himself completely to serving Lord Darlington. But Lord Darlington made questionable political choices, including sympathizing with Nazi Germany. Stevens' blind loyalty prevented him from questioning these decisions. Here's where the book speaks to us today. It reminds us to think critically about who and what we're dedicating our lives to. Are we serving a purpose that aligns with our values? Or are we simply following orders, afraid to challenge authority? Another theme in the book is regret. As Stevens reflects on his life, it becomes clear that he suppressed his emotions and avoided personal connections. He recalls moments with Miss Kenton that suggest there could have been love between them. But Stevens' inability to express his feelings kept them apart. This is a lesson for all of us. Life is short, and missed opportunities can weigh heavily. Are we holding back from expressing ourselves? Are we prioritizing work or obligations over relationships that truly matter? Ishiguro's writing is subtle but deeply emotional. He doesn't spell everything out for the reader. Instead, the story's power comes from what is left unsaid. This mirrors Stevens' own emotional restraint. It's a brilliant way to immerse us in his world. The setting of the novel also adds depth to the story. Darlington Hall represents the grandeur of a bygone era. It's a symbol of tradition, but also of stagnation and decline. The crumbling estate mirrors Stevens' own internal struggle. And then there's the road trip. As Stevens journeys through the countryside, he meets ordinary people who challenge his worldview. These encounters force him to confront the life he has lived and the choices he has made. One of the most poignant moments comes near the end of the book. Stevens realizes that his pursuit of dignity may have been a way to avoid facing his own emotions. He starts to see that there is still time to find a new sense of purpose, even in the remains of the day. This message is incredibly relevant to us today. Many of us get caught up in routines, focusing on work or responsibilities. We might tell ourselves that we'll pursue happiness or personal fulfillment later. But Stevens' story reminds us that later might never come unless we take action. The novel also has moments of humor, despite its serious themes. Stevens' overly formal way of speaking and his awkward interactions with others add lightness to the story. These moments make him relatable and endearing, even as we feel frustrated by his choices. Now let's talk about the book's relevance to society. In a world where many of us define ourselves by our jobs, The Remains of the Day asks us to reconsider what truly matters. It challenges us to think about the balance between professional dedication and personal fulfillment. The book also raises questions about leadership and responsibility. Lord Darlington's poor decisions had real consequences, and Stevens' loyalty enabled those decisions. This makes us think about our role in systems of power. Are we complicit in harmful actions by staying silent, or do we have the courage to stand up for what is right? As a society, we can learn from Stevens' journey. We can strive to live authentically, making choices that align with our values, and embracing the relationships that bring us joy. The Remains of the Day is not a loud or action-packed story. It's a quiet exploration of a life filled with moments that resonate deeply. It reminds us that it's never too late to reflect, to change, and to seek meaning. So, what can we take away from this book? First, let's not let duty or work overshadow our personal lives. Second, let's express our feelings and connect with the people we care about. And finally, let's remember that even in the remains of the day, there is hope and possibility. If you haven't read The Remains of the Day yet, I highly recommend it. It's a story that will stay with you long after you turn the last page. It's a gentle reminder to live a life that truly feels like your own.